Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Oh my goodness, yesterday was the day. Oh yes, oh, I'm choking already. Hang on. Mama Donna Adelson was back in court. The way I love an Adelson hearing. I love few things more than I love a Donna Adelson hearing. Settle in. Grab your cup of coffee. We need to talk about it. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That helps other people find us. Also find me on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. So look, in case you don't know who Donna Adelson is, let me just give you the quick and dirty because we have a lot to talk about this morning. Donna Adelson was a South Florida mom and grandma who had a daughter, Wendy, who married this dude, Dan Markel. And Donna was like, he's so wonderful. Oh my goodness, you're married now. They had some babies. They were living happily ever after, and then they weren't. And so when Wendy divorced her husband, they were living up in North Florida, Tallahassee. And Donna was like, I would like you to move down here to civilization, AKA Miami. I don't like North Florida. And Wendy was like, but Mom, I need to stay here so the kids can be near their dad. And Mama Donna was like, oh, don't you worry about that. And so Donna called her other son, Charlie. She's like, hey, Charlie, listen, if we could just unfortunately unalive Wendy's ex-husband, then she and the kids could move down here by us where, normal people live. We don't want to live up there in Tallahassee. Ew, it's icky. And so Charlie and Wendy and Donna all, pitched in their money. You know how sometimes like you pass the hat and you pitch in a little money to buy a big gift? They pitched in a little money to buy an assassination. They unfortunately unalived poor Danny Markel, who was just up there minding his business trying to raise his kids. He wanted to be part of his children's life, and for that Donna helped to take him off the playing field. It was a terrible situation. And then first the hit people got arrested and sent to jail forever. The go-between lady who helped arrange the unfortunate unaliving got convicted and sent off to prison for life. And then Charlie and Donna were like, oh, this is getting kind of close to us. I hope we don't have to go to prison. I mean, we're rich. I can't imagine that anything bad would happen to us. Before you know it, Charlie Adelson gets swooped up by the police, goes to trial. He's sure that none of this is going to touch him because he is a rich periodontist. And bad things don't happen to rich periodontists like him, except for in this case, they did. He got convicted and sent to prison for life. And he's like, oh, I feel like I've made a bad mistake. This is terrible. And his mom and daddy was like, wait, what? It's terrible what happened to Charlie. We're very, very, very upset. And I think maybe we should flee the country or possibly, unfortunately, unalive ourselves. And Wendy was like, new phone, who this? I don't know, none of y'all. I'm moving to Texas. Me and my kids, we're like, grandma. Yeah, you used to have a grandma. I don't know what happened to her. That's what she was telling the kids. And Donna was like, but wait. Charlie has been convicted. Those terrible brown hit people, they're in jail, but they deserve to be in jail because they did the wet works. Me, on the other hand, I have spent my whole life being a rich lady and a dentist's wife and staying in only the finest accommodations in all the land. I can't imagine that I would go to jail. Oh, my son is in prison for life. I'm gonna need a vacation. And so the police picked her up at the airport trying to flee the country. And she intentionally chose a non-extradition country. I'm not saying that. She said that, right? She got recorded on a jail phone call talking to her son, Charlie, saying, we're going to need to go to a non-extradition country. Okay, cool. So Donna has been arrested. She's been locked up for a little while now. She's not enjoying it. She would very, very much like to speak to the manager of jail so that she can let them know these accommodations are not to her liking. Hang on. So she's in court yesterday, right? So she can report to the manager. You can tell from the look in her eye, she's going to give this jail a terrible Yelp review. TripAdvisor has never seen a more strongly worded review of this facility because it was not good. Donna showed up looking tearful and sad. And can we just say it? Puffy. And I was just like, oh, Donna girl, it's terrible. So the state represented in the embodiment of none other than Sarah Catherine Dugan. Hey, Sarah Catherine, how you doing, girl? And Donna's lawyers were there. They are Jackie Fulford, who is a disgraced judge who now runs her law practice out of a funeral home. Does she do law between embalmings? I'm not understanding how the funeral house lawyer works, but okay, cool. And Josh Zellman, who is also, from what I hear, a very respected defense attorney. So the state gets up. The first part of the hearing yesterday, they wanted to talk about the phone call that got recorded. See, what had happened was, after Charlie got convicted, he was calling his mama over and over and over again to cry about his plight and how terrible it was that these awful people have convicted him of the unfortunate unaliving that he was involved in. He was like, how dare they catch me in the middle of a crime? I had a really good excuse. And the good people of Tallahassee was like, no, sent him to jail, convicted his behind in only 2 hours. So he's very sad and crying on the phone, and he's calling his mama like, Mom, oh my God. So here's the thing with jail phone calls. When you call the jail, and listen, I do not know this from personal experience, but I do know it from listening to phone calls in prison. You know that YouTube channel we love to watch? They have everybody's jail phone calls. Oh, the way I love, hey, Shay, over there, phone calls from prison. That's a good YouTube channel. Anyway, phone calls from prison has taught us, lo, these many years, the first thing you hear when you make a jail phone call is, your call will be recorded, govern yourself accordingly, or something like that. So, and they tell both parties, do you agree? Are you sure? You know this is going to be recorded, right? So we hear the recording play. You're going to be recorded. And then the recording does not stop until you hang up the phone. Here's the thing. Both parties have to hang up the phone. But the jail call system is a little bit rickety. It's a little bit raggedy. So if the prisoner hangs up their phone call and you don't hang up your phone call, the recording can continue. So what happened was, Charlie was talking to his mama about how terrible jail was, and then the call got disconnected. Donna was like, I'm not sure if he hung up. I'm not sure if this janky phone system accidentally disconnected, but sometimes if I hang on, then Charlie will come back, so I'm gonna keep hanging on. It is my supposition that she had like an earbud or something in her ear. She didn't go physically press the end button on her phone. It's very clear from the recordings that her actual phone was sitting across the room someplace that she couldn't see, but she had an earbud in her ear, so she was just talking to the people in the room around her. She was in her apartment in Miami, and in her apartment was her husband Harvey, her attorney, her estate planning attorney, because keep in mind, they were planning a trip, a vacation to a non-extradition country, and so they were talking about their travel plans, including but certainly not limited to, hey, estate planning friends, I'm glad you're here to help us set up all the money for when we leave the country and never come back again. And maybe me and my beloved husband, we unfortunately unalive ourselves, and then we just leave a note that tells people where to come and get us and stuff. And then everything is set up so that the kids can have their lives paid for and the grandchildren's education can be paid for, but we getting out of here. We're leaving this mortal coil, or we are leaving the state of Florida. Either way, we are getting out of here, right? All gets recorded on a jail phone call. And at the end of that jail phone call, you hear somebody say, wait, whose phone is this? There's a phone here that looks like nobody turned it off. Bloop. And then they push the button and turn it off. All that portion of the phone call where Donna was talking to her friends in the room gets recorded. And now it is very much being used against her in a court of law. So the state gets up there and was like, or the defense, whoever, they call a jail phone call expert to the stand, and they're like, hey, you know how jail phone calls work, right? And he's like, not really, but I could do my best to help you out. And they were like, okay, so on the dating question, when this call was accidentally recorded, what happened? And so the jail phone call dude, who really doesn't know that much about jail phone calls, is like, look, Charlie's call, like the connection was bad and his line disconnected, but Donna did not actually push the button to hang up the phone because that left the line still connected, causing this accidental recording to happen. Charlie tried to call his mama back 6 times, but she was still on the line thinking he would just automatically come back. And so that is how the call got recorded. Hold, please. During the course of the accidental recording, Donna said a whole lot of things, including her plans to flee the country and possibly flee this mortal coil. And she says on this recording, they're not recording my calls. I mean, even if they are, what you want from me is what it is. And so the jail phone call guy was like, was asked, are there hundreds of calls between Charlie and his mama? Dude was like, oh, there are thousands. Say you're a mama's boy without saying you're a mama's boy. I was like, okay. And so they were like, okay, thank you, sir. You can go on to the rest of your day. And then Jackie Fulford, the funeral lawyer, gets up and was like, Donna has had some medical problems while she's in jail, and I would like to talk about them. And so the state is like, okay, we saw your motion about the medical records. Please come in and let's, talk about the medical records, talk about what her illnesses are, because according to Donna, she's too sick for prison. For jail. She can't be in county jail because the treatment is subpar. And so the state starts talking to this witness, this nurse or whoever from down at the prison, about medical records. And the funeral house lawyer jumps up and is like, I object. How did you get her medical records? And the state was like, wait, you said you wanted to talk about her medical situation, so we had to look at her medical records. And Attorney Fulford was like, I object. And the judge was like, oh, Jesus. Okay, let's follow this to where it's going. So the state is like, okay, we'll ask him other questions not related to the medical records. Then Jackie Fulford gets up again and starts asking questions about the medical records. And this judge, so calm. I really need to know his meditation technique, because this boy has meditation on lock. This honorable judge has meditation on lock. He's like, Attorney Fulford, what are you doing? Don't make me come down there and bonk you on the head with this gavel. You just said that you object to the medical records. Now you want to cross-examine the man on the medical records? And she was like, I do, but I don't, but I really, really do. I would only like that rule to apply to them and not apply to me. And the judge said, with all due respect, heifer, what? And I was like, judge about to read this heifer for filth. And so she was like, never mind. Let's forget about the medical record. I would like my client, Donna, to take the stand. And I was like, wait. Donna Adelson is about to take the stand. Oh, I need to see her take the stand. Now, prior to being locked up, Donna was a rich lady living in South Florida. Oh, she had not eaten a carb in decades. She had the Botox. She had the hair color. She had her contact lenses in. Makeup perfect. Even when she was just out running errands, she looked amazing. Y'all, the glow down of this woman is so real. It's so real. It was almost painful to watch. Only I'm gleeful because she was involved in an unfortunate unaliving, and you're not supposed to do that. So Donna was like, I'm puffy and I'm sad and it's terrible. I could get up and take the stand, but can you give me 20 minutes to get from my chair to over there? I have to do this shackle shuffle because they got me in these terrible flip-flops. There's no arch support in them. And this outfit is really not my color. I think it washes me out. I haven't had a contact lens. My glasses look crazy on my face, but okay, I'm a little old lady and I can make my way up to the stand. Thank you for helping me. The first time Donna went to appeared in court, she was like, just like the sighing. She was so annoyed with everybody and everything. Honey, how the mighty have fallen. She was humble and she was soft-spoken, and she just wanted you to know that she had been in jail for a long time, and it was really unpleasant, and she would really like to talk to the judge about it. Judge, are you the manager? Are you the manager of the jail? Because I have a list of complaints. I have written them out on this nice piece of toilet paper. Not really, because they probably didn't even give her that. So her lawyer, hang on, said, Donna girl, I'm going to speak to you softly because I know you're real delicate right now. And she's like, I'm no longer into, unfortunately, unaliving people. I'm staying in very unpleasant accommodations. So please be gentle with me. And so the lawyer said, how long have you been in jail? Donna didn't say like, oh, however months, however many weeks or whatever. She's like, I have been in jail for 470 days. That is 11,280 hours in about 25 minutes. What time is it right now? I was like, oh, it's not that she's counting. Say you're counting, ma'am. She's like, I spent 50 days in solitary confinement. They're like, okay, fine. Let's get to your complaint. She's like, it's been a really, really long time. And these accommodations are subpar. I do not appreciate them. And the lawyer was like, Heifer, I'm going to need you to focus. We on a time limit, right? So she's like, when I have aches and pains, I have sciatica. It is very painful. And normally I go to my specialist and he does all these specialized treatments. And the lawyer was like, right. What did they give you here in the jail? She's like, Tylenol. like I'm some kind of commoner. Not even extra strength, not even with codeine. I know my body. My body does best when I get these specialized treatments from the specialty doctor that all of these other people probably can't afford and don't know anything about, but I need specialized treatment. And she was like, they offered me some other thing, but I knew that would not work for me, so I could not do it. Also, I would also like to let you know that the mattresses are thin, like a 1/2-inch mattress, if you can call that a mattress. I really do not appreciate it. I was looking for like maybe a pillow top or one of those egg crate top things. This is terrible. I was once assaulted in the shower. Somebody touched my booty and I did not like it. And worst of all, I had very narrow ear canals. Oh yes, my ear canals are delicate flowers. And I told them, so what you're going to need to do is call my other special doctor, and he does a special thing with an electronic thing, and it takes the earwax out. And do you know what the jail said? Your Honor, I hope you're sitting down, because, oh my goodness, the jail said they will put drops in my ears and then use a bulb syringe to try and take the wax out. And I said, no, I need the special doctor. It is tragic. I was like, so you living like regular people. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, right, I understand what you're saying, Miss Donna. Right, you're hard of hearing because you have very delicate, narrow ear canals. Okay, cool. Seems like you would take what you could get, right? Under the beggars can't be choosers principle. So when they offered you an alternative treatment and you were like, that is not what I need. I'm kind of thinking that like, you get what you get and you don't get upset. You never heard that? I heard that a whole lot. And she was like, no. You have not heard the most dramatic part of it all. One Saturday, I cut my arm on something that holds a washing machine. I guess so that the prisoners don't steal the washing machines? Unclear. She's like, I got cut. And so I waited in line and it was pulsing blood. And I'm like, right, you mean it was bleeding? Okay. She's like, and so I stood in line and I asked the nurse for a Band-Aid. Now, what I'm thinking is, if you could stand in line, that tells me it's not really an emergent situation. You needed a Band-Aid. Okay, people need Band-Aids and you should have Band-Aids. Hang on. So the nurse gets to her and is like, hey girl, look like your arm is bleeding. And she was like, yes, can I have a Band-Aid? Now, first of all, I feel very bad for her that she cut her arm. That's real sad. And the nurse is like, I don't have Band-Aids. I'm just here to pass out medication. Maybe put some toilet paper on it. And she was like, toilet paper? Toilet paper would stick to the wound. Ma'am, see, also, beggars can't be choosers. So one of the other girls rushed up and was like, oh, I have this sanitary napkin. It got wings and everything. You could probably wrap it around and make it stay on. You're going to be good. And so she's like, 2 other prisoners gave me sanitary napkins, and that's what covered the wound. And I was like, that's like, that's emergency medicine. Like, if you can't get the all-important Band-Aid, it turns out the long and short of the story is Donna got the Band-Aid the next day. In the meantime, she had to just keep washing it and using sanitary napkins. Okay. But don't they have them in the prison? Like, couldn't you just use what was available to you? Pro tip, Donna, I have never been in jail. Thank goodness. But something tells me if you were like a little bit more, I don't know, crafty, ingenious, you could have put that sanitary napkin on there and then wrap some toilet paper around that to hold it in place and then pull your sleeve down. Girl, you good. What are we talking about? And she was just like, it took days for me to get Neosporin. And a week later, it was healed perfectly, but not because they did anything about it. A Band-Aid took 24 hours. Ma'am, there are some people who never get Band-Aids. I'm not sure if she knows how the rest of the world works. She's like, I am out here having to behave like one of the poors. I am not one of the poors. Did you see my level of Botox when I arrived here? And then she was like, I'm short of breath. Ma'am, that's anxiety. I guarantee if you were this wound up about a cut on your arm and the state of the Tylenol in the prison and the Band-Aid situation, your shortness of breath is probably anxiety. And you could probably ask them for something for that, because you're going to need to relax a little bit. This is going to be a long stay, and I promise you, you're not going to enjoy it. Based on the evidence that we've seen of this crime, you go into prison forever, like forever, ever. It's not going to be good. You might want to be real grateful for what you have. Remember how you weren't grateful for just having grandkids? You had to have them near you, and you did all that stuff, and now the situation got better a little bit, and then it got much worse. Now you're in jail. Spoiler alert. I suspect the same thing is about to happen. You're upset with jail, which is relatively short-term stay. You're about to go to prison for life, and you're really not going to enjoy it. And then she was like, Your Honor, gird your loins. Some other terrible thing has happened. Have you seen the menu? They serve all carbs. It is awful. They paired mashed potatoes with white bread and spaghetti. Have you ever? I need protein. I've gained 1/3 of my body weight. And I was like, Heifer, join the club. I'm in menopause. I gained some weight too. I do not like it. That's real sad for you, but this is not a go see the judge type situation. Girl, hang on. That little amphibian is back in my throat, y'all. It is wearing me out today. I can barely gossip about other people. Anyway, so she's like, and the handbook says, I was like, I know this heifer did not pull out the handbook. She has gone to court and has cited the handbook. Okay, this is not the Ritz, it's jail. She's like, the handbook says I should be allowed to have exercise, and we have not had that much exercise. And I'm thinking to myself, she lacks creativity. Does just being like a spoiled rich lady make you not very creative? Ma'am, you can't march in place. You can't just do your stretches. You can't. I'm sure some of them other heifers are like, oh, these potatoes are too much. So maybe I'm going to do some burpees right here. I can jog in place. You don't have to have like a full all the equipment or whatever. Something tells me they're not going to have Pilates down there where you're going. You're going to need a good yoga practice. It's going to help you out. Maybe, Donna, you can spend your time writing yourself a new handbook. She's not sleeping well. She does not like the food. It is terrible. And some lady allegedly assaulted her and was extorting her for zuzus and wham-whams. You know what that is? Snacks. She's like, some lady assaulted me and wanted me to buy her carbs. Can you imagine the unmitigated goal of me having to purchase carbs? And so to protect myself from the carbs, I did the only thing I could do. I requested to be in protective custody where I'm in a small room and I am not sleeping well, Your Honor. And the judge was like, Mrs. Adelson, can y'all hurry this up because I have other criminals to deal with today. I'm not here to hear about the menu at prison. Thanks so much. And so the state was like, okay. Let's skip over all the food stuff because it seemed like you eating to me. Looked like you eating a lot, heifer, because we seen the size of your behind when you did your shackle shuffle up here to the stand. Can we talk about you getting out on bail? And she was just like, yes, I think it is only fair due to the state of the mattresses and the menu and all the terrible health conditions. I be allowed to live here in beautiful Tallahassee where I would love to stay in a decent bed with my husband where I can get appropriate medical care. And the state was like, wait. Tallahassee that you talked all that mess about, Tallahassee that you said you hated, Tallahassee that in your opinion was not civilization. Oh, now you want to stay here, but on the outside. Okay. You're promising that you're going to return to court because you're a law-abiding citizen. You're going to show up for your trial where everybody else in this case has been convicted and sentenced to life in prison. But you, ma'am, are now telling this honorable court that you promised to stay in beautiful Tallahassee and enjoy the trees and the possums and whatever else they have there in Florida. And you promised to come back and potentially face life in prison. Sure, Jan. Didn't you and your husband have a plan to, unfortunately, unalive yourselves together so you didn't have to go to prison? But you're going to tell us when you go on the outside, you really cross your heart and hope to die. You're not going to do that? Okay. Okay. The state had a few questions for you. They were like, Mrs. Adelson, on the heels of your son's conviction, hang on. Didn't the police pick you up at the airport trying to flee the country to a non-extradition country? And she was like, but I have a really good reason. And the state was like, wait, hold on. Weren't you quoted in that jail phone call as saying, I hope we get out in time. And she was like, yes, but what you don't understand is I needed a vacation. The reason we were going to a non-extradition country is because, number one, vacations are better there. And number two, if the police decided that they want us back, us being law-abiding citizens, aside from that time we helped to unfortunately unalive that dude, other than that, we've barely broken any laws. And so we figured that what we would do is if they called and said like, hey girl, hey, please come back so we can put you on trial for the unfortunate unaliving of your son-in-law, we were just going to be able to come back on our own terms. We had seen Locked Up Abroad, and the prisons did not seem to be very posh. And so we didn't want to sit in a jail in some country. We figured if you wanted us, we would just come on winged feet. We would get, we had them one-way tickets to Vietnam, which, by the way, is a non-extradition country. And we said over and over and over that we were looking for a non-extradition country, but that's so we could avoid the Locked Up Abroad experience. See, doesn't that make sense? Hang on. She's like, yes, our estate planning attorneys were at our house to help us make final arrangements, but that was just because we were traveling. And you know how it is when you travel. And the state was like, yeah, girl, okay. So it seems to me, Kathy the Gossip, that there is a lot of evidence against Miss Donna, including, but not limited to, number one, she wrote a bunch of emails about how much she hated the victim. Ma'am, you're bad at crime. Email is discoverable in a court of law. But wait, there's more. She texted about the crime. She physically washed the money. Ma'am, that's not at all how money laundering works. She wrote checks to the hit people with her own signature on them. She accidentally recorded on a jail phone call her escape plan, and she workshopped excuses for why they were fleeing on WhatsApp. Ma'am, you're not good at crime. Stay stupid, scumbag. Also, you're going to stay in jail for a real long time. And spoiler alert, there's an excellent chance that you're going to prison for the rest of your life. And the defense was like, they are calling her bad names in prison. Some people are calling her the mafia mom. And I was like, I am offended. Nobody has ever called her the mafia mom. We have called her Mama Donna Adelson. We've called her a whole bunch of things. We have never called her a mafia mom. The internet is far more creative than that, ma'am. And she's like, and the defense attorney was like, my client did not flee. The quiet part of that is because y'all picked her up first. Now, given a chance, she would have fled. Yes, of course she would have. Who would have stayed here in Tallahassee? She did not flee. Mostly because the FBI came and got her. That notwithstanding, she promises to be a really, really good girl and stay here in Tallahassee, please and thank you. And the judge is like, I'm sick of all of y'all. With all due respect, Mrs. Adelson, shuffle your big old behind down there to that chair, and I'm going to have to go and think about it. I will be back in touch soon. So there was no answer yesterday. The judge is like, I'm going to think it over and let you know. Donna girl, you're not getting out. Now, I'm not the judge. I'm just the gossip. I suspect that based on the litany of evidence against Miss Donna and the thinness of her complaints about bad mattresses and terrible menus, she not getting out. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to make do and mend. Yeah. I'm going to need you to make yourself your own homemade Band-Aids. Stop reading that handbook because it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to make you depressed. You're going to be over there circling passages of things they not doing for you. And guess what? Nobody cares. I mean, everyone is innocent unless they are proven guilty. Right now, you are presumed innocent. But we, the people of the internet, have these highly sensitive recording devices, our eyes and our ears. And we've seen the 3 or 4 trials that went before yours. Girl, you going down. Oh, you going down. You going down hard. It's going to be very, very, very unpleasant for you. There was some good news that came out of yesterday's hearing. Apparently, Donna Adelson has been calling her husband Harvey. Remember Harvey, who she abandoned at the airport when the FBI took her off to jail? I have long speculated that Harvey has been roaming around a parking structure, or maybe he's just on the luggage carousel down there at Delta, just going round and round and round, living off the grace of the leftovers of other people's donuts and nuts from the peanut peanuts from the plains. Turns out Harvey has made it home because he is able to put money on Donna's books so she could buy those extortion zuzus and wham whams. Congratulations, Harvey. How much y'all want to bet that all the little old ladies from down at the community center are like, Harvey, let me make you a casserole. Harvey, come here. We're going to give you a little wine. Come here, Harvey. Harvey is back in assisted living. And by assisted living, I mean all them widows trying to rub up on him. Y'all, Harvey is out here doing the most. He probably living his best life without this heifer. He's like, oh, the freedom I am enjoying. After 50 some odd years of marriage, I can just do what I want to do. I can play the TV too loud. I can Donald Duck it all the time. He walking around with no pants on, scratching his behind when he gets good and ready. It's probably dirty socks all over the floor. Harvey is living his best life. Congratulations, Harvey. I don't think they have enough evidence on you to capture you. You're going to be real sad without your wife. But it has been 11,280 days. So enjoy your new existence. When there's more on this case, when this judge has a response, I will be right back here to let you know. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. I will see you soon. Bye.